If you're following Depp vs. Heard, I'm sure you know Johnny Depp won the case in Virginia against Amber Heard, but now it seems she will officially appeal. This is from People, and it says, Amber Heard officially files to appeal verdict in Johnny Depp trial. We believe the court made errors. Of course, it's always a mistake, but on her side and her part, there's not so many of those mistakes made, is there? Last week, the judge denied Amber Heard's motion for a mistrial and said there was no evidence of juror fraud, which there wasn't. This is from July 21st, 2022. Let's see what we got. By the way, People's very pro-Amber, so I'll be pretty critical of their opinion. Amber Heard has filed to appeal the verdict in her defamation trial with ex-husband Johnny Depp. On June 1st, a 7-person jury handed down their verdict, mostly siding with Depp 59 and awarding him more than $10 million in damages. They determined that Heard 36 defamed the actor in a 2018 op-ed she wrote about surviving abuse, though she didn't mention him by name in the article. But let's add some details, people. Under the law, you don't have to mention somebody by name because you can mention somebody and everyone knows who you're talking about, like Johnny Depp, who is one of the most famous actors in the world and has been for almost 40 years now. But people doesn't like details. Not even important ones. But we knew most of this. Let's keep going. After making it known that she intended to appeal the Virginia verdict, Heard made it official Thursday morning when her lawyers filed a notice of appeal in the Circuit Court of Fairfax County. We believe the court made errors that prevented a just and fair verdict consistent with the Fifth Amendment. We are therefore appealing the verdict, a spokesperson for Heard said in a statement. While we realize today's filing will ignore the Twitter bonfires, there are steps we need to take to ensure both fairness and justice. What the heck does Twitter have to do with it? Well, she did retweet the op-ed, but that doesn't matter as far as anybody else answering, commenting, or writing anything about that retweet. That retweet was about Johnny, and in isolation, all we got to do is examine that. A rep for Depp did not immediately respond to People's request for comment. The development comes 1 week after Judge Penny denied Heard's request for a mistrial over an issue involving one of the jurors seemingly not being the one from their household summoned for jury duty. Okay, so that's the thing. She wanted to get a mistrial before, now she's going for an appeal. Whatever it is, she won't stop, and a lot of people, I think, feel like, well, this is over, that's it, we'll still talk about a few things here and there, but you know what, it's all said and done, and actually, if this appeal goes through, then I guess the case happens again. I'm no lawyer, that's just my guesstimation. The judge said no evidence or fraud was found among the jury and noted that Heard's team had weeks to speak up about the error rather than wait until after an unfavorable verdict. Yeah, absolutely. Depp's team had responded to the post-trial motion with similar arguments before the judge's ruling. When the judge made the verdict official late last month, she ruled that the damages will come with a 6% annual interest and noted that if Heard were to appeal, she would have to post a bond for the full amount of the damages she owes. The day after the verdict, her lawyer Elaine Brennenhoff said in a TV interview that Heard planned to appeal and the actress can absolutely not afford to pay the damages amount. Brennenhoff had mentioned in closing arguments that Heard had racked up $6 million in legal fees by that point in the trial. $6 million? What are these lawyers getting paid to do exactly? I know it's a tough job, lots of information, lots of research, but $6 million? Sheesh. Depp's lawyer Benjamin Chu later said in another televised interview that for Depp the case was never about money, this was about restoring his reputation, and he's done that, and I believe it. Absolutely. Depp was very quiet through the whole thing, couple of posts on Instagram here and there, but all in all, it seemed like he was very humble. In reaction to the verdict last month, Depp said in a statement he felt like the jury made up of 5 men and 2 women gave me my life back. Heard, meanwhile, called the verdict a setback for women and said, I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. She added at the time, I'm sad I lost this case, but I am sadder still that I seem to have lost a right that I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. Well, let's catch you up to speed, Amber. You do have free speech. This has been said over and over. You can say whatever you want, but if it damages somebody else, you're going to be liable for it. It's really easy. Does this argument she doesn't have free speech convince anybody? If this convinces you, you're not thinking about it. You're being really biased in the situation. Of course, you can say whatever you want, but if somebody gets fired from multi-million dollar contracts because of it, obviously you got to take responsibility for your words. In the weeks since, Depp has been touring overseas performing with Jeff Beck, with whom he released an album. Okay, thanks for the little promo there. It's doing great, by the way. iTunes #1 for a while. Heard did a sit-down interview with NBC News' Savannah Guthrie where she said she stands by every word of her testimony and that she still has no ill will toward Depp. So I guess her dog really did step in a bee, not making a joke, just saying she stands by everything. Separately, Heard is in a legal battle with her insurance provider over who is liable for paying her court fees, and Depp reached a pre-trial settlement with a crew member from one of his movies who accused him of assault, which he denied. Okay. I'm sure that guy had a lot of evidence, and I'm sure a lot of people would be willing to come out in his defense against Johnny, or maybe not, but who cares? So I made a video not too long ago, maybe about a day ago, that was about not letting go on the criticism of Amber, and I mean the mature criticism. She has a DUI, she's wanted for perjury, she illegally recorded Johnny in California against the law, things like that. I'm not saying criticism like making fun and the T-word jokes and things like that. I'm saying don't stop the normal criticism, the factual, well-written criticism. But I definitely cut down on the jokes and things like that because a lot of people are using it against the community. Although I love jokes. I wish I could make videos on jokes and laugh at things she said all day long. It'd be more fun than reading articles and thinking about facts and getting my opinion right. But unfortunately, people don't see that it's just humor and harmless. They look at it as trolling and misogyny and that it's not safe, things like that. So I can't make jokes. I gotta be more serious than I want to. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. I'm doing Depp vs. Heard, pop culture, and there might be even more Depp vs. Heard just when I thought it was coming to somewhat of an ending. Guess we'll see what happens here. And if you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. Done here for now. See you next time. If you're following Depp vs. Heard, I'm sure you know that Johnny Depp won the case in Virginia. Can you say it right, please? Take 3. If you're following Depp vs. Heard, take 4. If you're following Depp vs. Heard, I'm sure you know Johnny Depp won the case in Virginia against. It's pronounced against. Take 5.